Hi, my name's Alexis and welcome to my channel. So for today's video, I was inspired after going through my makeup collection this past weekend, and I was throwing out stuff that I didn't need anymore, stuff that was expired, stuff that just looked a little off, and I came across my Urban Decay Naked palette. I bought this palette, I want to say 7 or 8 years ago when it first came out, and this was my first big makeup purchase. I remember saving up all my money to buy this palette, and I was so happy when I got it, and it kind of set me on a path to loving makeup and makeup artistry. The sad thing is though, despite this being my OG baby, I don't use it anymore. So I want to see if I can fall back in love with this palette and whether or not I'm gonna love it or I'm going to toss it. To get started, I'm gonna work on my base since I do not have that on today, clearly. I'm gonna use a little bit of the Smashbox Pore Minimizing Primer, and I'm gonna focus that primarily in my T-zone area where I have very large pores. And it kind of helps me stay more matte in that area too, which is really, really nice. But because I feel a tad bit dry in other areas, I'm also going to use the Too Faced Hangover RX Primer. It's more moisturizing. I notice my skin looks really plump when I use this, so I'm going to put this, focus it more kind of on the perimeters of my face, and just to give me nice and moisturized. Okay. Before I apply my foundation, I'm actually going to color correct a little bit, just because since this zit I have going on here is very red, I feel like I'm going to go for a little bit of a lighter coverage today, so I don't want it to peek through too much. So I'm going to put a little bit of this LA Girl Pro Concealer in the color green to kind of cancel out some of that redness. If you're not familiar with color correcting, don't let it scare you. Color correcting is pretty easy. You just kind of base it off the color wheel. Green is opposite of red, so it helps cancel out the redness. I primarily use this on a regular basis, or I'll use peaches to kind of cancel out hyperpigmentation spots that I may have. I don't really have much dark circles, but it really helps when I have post-acne marks. But I'm going to use that on those areas and blend that out. And so this set is super, super stubborn. I actually think since I was picking at it a little bit that it actually may be turning into slightly a bruise. So I'm actually going to go in with my peach corrector as well a little bit, just to kind of cancel out some of that darkness in it. And my goal isn't to completely cover this, I'm just trying to equalize it a little bit with the hopes that when I put on foundation, it's not as bad. One of my biggest pet peeves is getting up to actually wet my beauty blender. Well, in this case, it's the Morphe sponge. So on my lazy days, I just take some of my all-nighter spray. It's probably a very bougie way to wet a sponge, but gets the job done. Plus, when you use a setting spray, I find that it kind of locks the foundation in a little bit more. I could be imagining this, but that is what I like to believe it does. Ooh, okay, I sprayed that a lot. Okay, it's my bad. It's really hard when you're a person who consistently gets ready with a lighted makeup mirror to go from having that zoomed in 10 times effect, lighting situation happening where you can see every pore, every crevice, to trying to do your makeup while staying in frame and not looking off into the distance while using a mirror, which I never use mirrors, which is funny because I'm always like, oh, this palette has a great mirror, that's why I should buy it. Do I use it? No. So, but I'm gonna try it today. So I'm going to take this Maybelline Fit Me Foundation, and mainly because I am super pale right now and most of my foundations do not match me, so hoping this one will. And that's it. It's just being super stubborn. So I'm definitely gonna have to spot conceal that. I don't think the green is doing much. Probably because I was picking at it. Note to self, don't pick your zits. Dermatologist always tells me that, but it's like a compulsion. I kind of have to. And I don't know why I'm applying my foundation like this. I never apply my foundation like this. I think it's because I'm holding a mirror and I don't know what to do with myself. But normally I dot the foundation all over and then blend it out. But today I guess I'm doing something different, so. And actually, since I did not wet my brush a whole lot, I'm gonna take a brush and just kind of blend even more, just because I feel like, ooh, these hoops. Ah! Next, I'm actually going to go in with a little bit of my Becca under eye corrector, just because my skin's feeling a little bit dry in certain areas, and I think this will kind of, since it's such a thick creamy consistency, will kind of add a little bit of moisture there as well as brighten the under eyes, so the concealer that I apply doesn't end up looking too dry and cakey. So now I'm going to go in with a bit of my Makeup Revolution concealer in the color C5, and I'm going to put that underneath my eyes, down the bridge of my nose, Cupid's bow, my chin, okay, 5 head, it's not a forehead, it's a 5 head, and a little bit around my mouth just because I get a little bit of darkness there. Take my damp sponge and I'm going to blend. Okay, now I'm going to take a little bit of this sample of the Nars Soft Matte Concealer in the color Custard. And I'm going to spot conceal a little bit with my finger. And I'm not crazy when it comes to covering up acne marks. I mean, we're human, we have them. If it peeks through a little bit, oh well, let you know that I'm real. I'm gonna set the face with a little bit of my Coty Airspun powder. I'm like not in the mood to bake a whole lot today, so I'm just gonna tap off a lot of the excess and I'm just gonna tap it into the skin. So I like this method a little bit better than sometimes brushing it with my powder brush. I'm gonna take my Maybelline powder in the shade 220. And I'm just gonna run that over my face a little bit. That Coty Airspun got everywhere. Gotta have fun cleaning that up later. What? Okay. So I'm not gonna lie, I don't prime my eyes on the regular. If anything, I'll just use whatever foundation or concealer I had on my sponge and prime that way. I found that my eyelids don't get super oily anymore, so I don't really have an issue with the eye makeup creasing at all, so I'm not going to do that today, but feel free to prime. I'm going to start by using Naked all over the lid. I forgot how much I liked this Naked shade. I mean, there's only 2 transition shades, but I could not do a look without this color when I used to use this palette every single day. I'm just doing a nice wash across the eyes. Not being super precise, I just kind of want the color blown out so that when I put my darker shades on, it kind of can blend into something. Next, I'm going to take Buck, that's slightly darker crease shade, and I'm going to go in on the eyes with that. Now that I have this smoky base color down, I'm gonna go in with, I think, Smog, which is the bronzy shade. And if any of you guys drag me for using a Too Faced palette as my mirror, because this palette is so dirty, the mirror is completely covered in eyeshadow and I don't have time to clean that. Plus, this Too Faced mirror on this chocolate gold palette is bomb. I want it a little bit more smoky, so I'm going to take that Darkhorse shade and I'm going to place that more towards the lash line, but blend it out as well. Basically, I'm layering it on top of the Smog shadow. So I'm going to take a bit of that half-baked shadow, which is probably my favorite shimmer in this entire palette. It's in a lot of urban palettes, and I'm going to take it on my finger. I'm just going to pack that on and blend that into my lid. You can definitely tell these shadows don't feel as nice as they did when I first purchased them. So clearly they are kind of on their way out. So I'm actually going to take a flat shader brush and I'm going to go in with the 2 matte ones and I'm going to put those underneath my eye to smoke out my bottom lash line. On second thought, I switched brushes. I'm using one of those Anastasia brushes that you get in all of their palettes. I actually really like these for under the eye. I'm going to use my Alkaline liner for my waterline. Matches my top. That's the only reason why. I'm going to go ahead and finish off the eyes by curling my lashes. Bit of the Urban Decay Perversion mascara. I swear, didn't realize I was going to use so much Urban Decay products today, but what can you do? My mom is borrowing my other mascara. I'm going to go ahead and add brows. Usually I would do that before I do my eyeshadow. I just didn't today. I think I was so eager to get into that Naked palette to see if I liked it still. So I'm going to do that off camera and I'll be right back. Okay, and now I'm back. So I'm going to bronze up the face with a bit of the new Anastasia bronzing powders. I have 2 shades actually. I have Tawny, which is meant for a little bit lighter skin tones. It has a reddish undertone. And I also have Saddle, which has a nice olivey undertone, which I think is a little bit better suited for me right now. If you're not familiar with these powders, they're very pigmented, so you only really need a little bit. It goes a long way, but they look beautiful on the skin. So I'm actually going to take a little bit with this first, because these bronzers are really pigmented, and I want to make sure I blur out this line. Give that double chin action going. These big hoop earrings. Still don't understand why I'm still wearing them and haven't taken them off yet. But I got time to contour the nose. And honestly, I have a bigger nose anyways, so it doesn't make all that much of a difference in my opinion. So I just pinch, take a slightly smaller bronzer brush and just pinch it, and I'm just gonna run that down the nose. Not being super precise, just adding a little bit of definition there. I'm actually going to take a bit of that Coty powder that we used earlier just to clean up that bronzer. So for blush, I'm going to use the Tarte Amazonian Clay 12-Hour Blush in the shade Sensual. And I have big cheekbones, so I like to accentuate them. But this is a nice natural flush that isn't going to compete with the bronziness of the eyeshadow. And this blush is kind of hard to describe. It's like, it looks like nothing in the pan, but it gives you a soft, almost rosy vibe, but also a little bit of peach undertone. But it's a very nice neutral. Now I'm going to brush off that powder that I put underneath. All Nighter Urban Decay spray. Whew. And while that's still a little bit damp, I'm going to take the MAC Hyper Real Glow palette. This is the gold one. I can't remember what it's called. I'm actually borrowing this from a friend, trying to decide if I need this in my life. And I'm gonna take the lighter gold shade in here. And I'm going to put it above my top lip, a little bit of the tip of my nose, down the bridge of my nose, and then primarily along my cheekbone area. So I need a little bit of spray because I dried a little bit, so I'm going to add some more. This highlight's actually really pretty. I was debating between getting this one and the Amrezy one, and I went ahead and got the Anastasia Amrezy, but is there any such thing as too many highlighters? I mean, most beauty gurus would tell you no. So I'm gonna take my pinky and a little bit of that gold shade on the inner corner of my eye along my tear ducts. Now I'm just gonna pop on a lip and this look will be complete. Okay, I'm back. So I added on a bit of the Anastasia Beverly Hills lip gloss in the color Caramel. So final thoughts. Do I love it or am I gonna toss it? I think the eyeshadow look is pretty. It's a nice bronzy, everyday kind of smoky eye. Well, everyday for me. But if I'm being honest, these shadows didn't blend the same way that they did when I first bought this palette. They were a little bit chalky in some areas, and the shimmers weren't as intense. Now, I could have intensified the shimmers by putting a little bit of Fix Plus on the brush before applying it on the eye, but I didn't necessarily want it to be too metallic-y. I just wanted it to stay in that kind of bronze smoky. The pigmentation is still decent on them. It's just I can tell that they're getting old. So, am I gonna throw it away? I don't know. This is so hard. It's so hard for me. Guys, it doesn't even say naked anymore. It says naked. But I don't know. I feel like I should, because I feel like, in all honesty, it's seen better days. And I have a huge eyeshadow palette collection, so I could probably recreate this look with 4 or 5 other palettes that I already own. So I'm probably going to get rid of it, and I'm gonna toss it. Okay, that hurt a little bit. Thank you guys for watching me be dramatic and struggle with my separation anxiety and my hoarding of makeup. So I appreciate you guys for watching. This was my first video, so it's probably gonna be a little bit rough around the edges, but I am really interested in getting into this YouTube thing. I have a love for makeup. I'm a self-taught makeup artist. I have worked at Ulta for years, and I have put makeup on clients, but I'm self-taught for the most part, and it just truly is a passion of mine. So I'm really just interested in doing some more fun creative looks, as well as some reviews and my thoughts on some products. And you can't tell now, but I got some curly hair in here too, so maybe some hair tutorials as well. And yeah, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Bye.